Hi guys, it's Horsey Steph, and today I am back with another Horse Trainer Reacts to Horse Fails video. As always, I'm sure there will be lots of gasps and cringes from me, as I am always horrified by these horse fail videos. But go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want future videos like this, because if you enjoy them, I will keep making them, even though they are basically horrifying and traumatizing. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in and see what there is to react to this time. Alright, so this is a beginner rider just jogging along, bareback on this horse. And completely falls off. Actually looked like she was practicing a emergency dismount. That looked really intentional, the way she like lightly hit the ground and then just kept rolling, like roll. So I'm gonna guess that wasn't a fail at all and she actually meant to do that. Just kind of swing off at the trot. Also, like, nothing caused that, right? She was jogging along, looked perfectly stable, and kind of flung herself off the side. Practicing emergency dismounts are definitely a great idea. Knowing how to fall is going to prevent most of your injuries. It's the people that fall badly, put a hand out or put a leg out or something, that really get injured. If you can commit to tucking and rolling, landing on your back, and allowing that momentum to be absorbed through a roll, it's so much less force on your body and force on things that are a little bit better able to take force than like an arm. So gonna provide a lot more safety for you. Oh my. Good fall on the rider's part. I mean, those are tricky to stay with. The horse didn't really give any inclination it was gonna jump the moon. The only way you could have predicted that is just that this is probably an unfamiliar fence and the horse is dramatic, but I mean, he really just popped that shoulder up and sprung like he was on massive springs over that. Didn't like put in a ton of effort on the ground, like pushing off with the hind, just lifted that shoulder like crazy. Super athletic, nice horse, but yeah, hard to stick with. Rider did a great job, even though she got totally left behind. It's hard to stick. Oh gosh. Good of the horse to keep going, but oh my word. This is one of the reasons I promote safety stirrups and one of the reasons I do almost always ride with safety stirrups. So basically what happened there is the horse kind of fell through the oxer and unseated the rider, but her foot was stuck in the stirrup. But, you know, he knows his job. It was a triple combination, and you get in the triple and you keep going. And that's something that we teach these horses over and over and over again. You do all of them. Regardless, you keep going. And he did, and he cleared the last two elements, so it was only one rail, essentially, in terms of fault show jumping. So that would have been a huge success had she managed to stay on. Unfortunately, the horse was so focused on fixing his mistake to get through the triple, he didn't even realize that his rider was dangling from one of the stirrups. And that's where this whole jump no matter what thing comes up and is kind of a problem. I don't think this is an example of a horse that's learned to jump no matter what. I would more guess this is an example of a horse that's been taught once you get into a combination, you always keep going. And he didn't even notice the rider because he was so focused on how much he'd botched the first element and had to fix it to get over the last two. If she'd had safety stirrups, that would have helped a lot. Being drugged by a horse is super dangerous. It looks like she mostly was out to the side of him, not under his feet getting trampled as he went up and over these jumps, but still not a good situation. I mean, she got just bashed on those standards and wings and poles. Hopefully she's all right. Again, ride with safety stirrups though, and it will definitely save you in those sorts of situations. Little dressage in the grass. I hate these slow-mos because they don't make anything more dramatic. It's really quite boring, but I mean, you just did a little buck and bucked her off. Like, don't slow-mo your videos and pause your videos to like make it seem like something crazy happened, because it really didn't. It's just irritating. All right, this is a trick rider. Oh no! Good job sitting that. I'm not sure why the horse turned around there. A trick rider should have their horse trained to just keep going on that circle on the rail, kind of no matter what happens. Possibly something spooked the horse, and that's why he aborted mission and spun around. But luckily that little girl was able to ride it just fine. Definitely something she's gonna have to work on for training purposes, because you can't trick ride when your horse is gonna do stuff like that. You just can't control your horse in trick ride, so you really need to know that they're gonna stay on that rail and do their job and be steady, especially when you're in more precarious positions than she was right there. Alright, so I would guess this horse hasn't seen a mirror before and just saw it out of the corner of his eye, and then he was like, oh crap, and he literally bashed himself on the wall. He was so terrified of the mirror that he like lost that situational awareness. And those are the scariest horses in my opinion. The ones where they literally stop thinking in panic. I mean, no horse is going to consciously run into a rail. This one was so terrified that he just, you know, sideways bolted straight into that rail and then bounced off of it and spun, because like what else was he gonna do at that point? I'm not surprised the rider came off. I mean, just being bashed into a rail would be enough to kind of get your attention off of riding and onto. I'm sure that hurt like hell. I mean, that would really mess up a knee. Could really injure you too, just the force that horse went into the rail with. So definitely I think some work on getting that horse to regulate its nervous system and think through problems would help a ton to prevent these kinds of issues. And then also, you know, if you know your horse is reactive like this and he's never seen a mirror, I've had every single horse I've ever taken to a mirror be like, oh, what is that? And get worried about it the first moment. So hand walk them if you don't think they're super trustworthy. It's not worth getting in those situations where the horse is going to totally panic and, you know, run into a wall. It's not worth it at all. Alright, this is another example of somebody that was doing a TikTok video laying on the back of her horse, and the horse didn't like it and took off. If you're gonna do those kinds of videos, really desensitize your horse first. Like, most horses are not going to be used to and okay with that just right out of the bat. So take the time, desensitize them, get them used to it. That way it's not like a whole panic attack when you're laying on their hind end moving around. And then you won't fall off and get hurt. Alright, I didn't actually see that coming. These guys looked like they were being pretty friendly, and then the one just got done with it and started kicking. At least they are pretty pasture, like herd savvy, so when the one started kicking, they kind of moved out of the way, and while they were both kicking at each other, they both also left, so that's a good thing. Alright, so this person was letting their horse kind of nuzzle their face and then, you know, lip their face, and then the horse bit. I don't know that I would ever let my horse kind of use their mouth on my face, even just their lips. I do let my one horse London groom. I've mentioned that a couple times on this YouTube channel. Not my face, just because like the temptation to like grab my nose or something would be too strong for him, I feel. But like larger parts of my body where if he gets a little nip, it's not going to be that overly painful or damaging to me. And I do teach him like right away, gentle lips. I don't let it get to the point of nipping. I mean, he has nipped me before, not anywhere near as hard as that, but I really tell him like, gentle. That's too much, you got to be gentle. I don't think chasing a horse, like really getting after them, is worth it in that situation, because they're just kind of testing boundaries and they don't know it's wrong. I don't think you need to be that big. You can see the horse knew it was a bad idea as soon as he did it, or she, I think that was a mare, and was already leaving as soon as she bit her. So I would guess you really didn't need to be that big. Could have been pretty mild with like a no, and the horse also would have probably never done it again. Could be wrong. I don't know the horse. Oh no! So the horse just lost its hind end on the grass, and this is an example of a horse that doesn't really find it necessary to really work hard to keep its feet under him. Absolutely could have saved himself from there. I mean, he would have had to really use his front end to pick himself up and put that hind end back under. But I've seen horses slip out much worse and still stay on their feet. This one just kind of like, as soon as he started slipping, he was like, oh yeah, I'm going down, it's fine. Don't even need to worry about saving that. You can get back up, shake it off. I'm sure he's fine. Alright, so this horse got kicked in the mouth, busted his tooth and lip. I mean, honestly, not that bad. He was really being mean to that other horse. You could see he was chasing him, trying to bite him. And the other horse was like, you know what, I've had enough, and just clipped him slightly. I don't mind that. I think this horse needed to learn manners. I'm sure the other one didn't really mean to kick him and more thought he was giving a warning shot and just misjudged it a little bit. But this goes into like teach your horses how to get along in a pasture when they're young. And horses are a little more forgiving of them and they're not near as nasty and you don't have these issues. Alright, classic refusal, sit up, sit back, ride the horse forward, and that stuff doesn't happen. I mean, that was just a classic refusal. Horse stopped, rider went flying. I do not like horses that kind of toss their head at people. This is exactly why it seems really dangerous. And my first horse did kind of, he'd put his head on your chest and then, you know, toss you. Not nudge you, toss you. So anything that involves like nudging is a no-no for me. I mean, it just brings flashbacks to being tossed across aisles by my horse that thought it was so fun. I don't allow it. Anything that involves pushing me with the nose, no, knock it off, not okay. And that can prevent issues like this where the horse is just giving a friendly push with the nose, but, you know, resulted in whacking her in the face. I'm sure that really hurt. I would be not happy in this situation. Not at all. Alright, in this instance, I think if she had just sat back and pushed the horse forward, she would have been a lot better. Instead, she got left behind on the fence and grabbed the horse's face like her life depended on it, made him even angrier. And now that she's come off, she's still grabbing his face like her life depends on it. So clearly, grabbing the horse's face is her habit, and also she's going to refuse to let go, probably in some attempt to train the horse not to take the reins out of her hands. I don't think that works. I wish that she had both let the horse go forward after that fence, and also that she would let go when she fell. But again, I'm not always popular in these opinions, so I do think that's why it happened, though. If she had let the horse go forward, released his mouth a little bit when she landed and got better balance, I really doubt he would be pulling around like this. Alright, one horse is running and another horse comes up running, and it looks like they're kind of racing each other. I mean, I don't know that that's actually what's happening, but it does really look like they're racing. Could be. I mean, horses do all kinds of things for fun, right? Who are we to say which games they play? This one looks pissed with his ears flat back. I want to say they're also racing on this road, and this gray in front is really wanting to be at the front of everything. And then she comes right off, so I'm not sure what caused that. Helmet cams can be a little confusing because you don't always know like what is causing what. This horse is lame. Lordy, so he was trotting around like super lame and then just decided to try to jump out of the fence and absolutely didn't clear it. Honestly, ended better than it could have because he really just rolled himself over it. He didn't get caught up in it at least, but I don't know why he thought to do that. I didn't see it coming. He wasn't even cantering. He wasn't looking like he felt the need to escape. He was just trotting along. Maybe he is a jumper and that's what he does. So he was like, oh, it's just like a shoot or something. Hard to say. It's another dirty refusal. The rider didn't sit back at all and goes flying. Gotta learn to sit back, you guys. Yeah, this is not gonna go well for her. I don't know that I would have tried to stop this horse as the trainer. I don't really think that helped anything. I would have just jumped out of the way, let the horse go, let the kid go. Because I don't want to risk being bowled over. Like, that sounds like a terrible idea. Shirley just got bowled over. All right, so in this situation, this rider is trying to get the horse to go down a bank, and the horse doesn't want to. This is not how you're going to get the horse to do it, at least not teach the horse how to do it with confidence. I would be on the ground. I would be giving the horse a lot of time to think and process, get them to calmly walk up to the edge, then start to ask them to, you know, try to put a foot off the edge, see what happens, etc. And maybe on a lower one than this. This looks like a little big to just step on and off of, which is what I would want to start with. And you probably want to start with stepping up the bank and then go down the bank, really keeping the horse relaxed the whole time, because once the horse gets stressed out like this, they're always going to be afraid of it and they're never actually going to want to offer to do this. However, she just pushed until the horse said, hell no, I'm absolutely done with this and I want out. And now she's hanging on his mouth and making him rear. So, all kinds of bad riding. Oh God. I mean, good save on both the horse and the rider's part. I think he just misjudged his feet and really wasn't sure how to get over that. So he, like, tripped and got his front end over, but didn't have the impulsion to get his hind end over, and aborted mission. Alright, so she's taking her horse for a walk, and he has absolutely no ground manners, so when she walks him and he starts panicking, she's in this narrow space and has no control, and he's spinning around on, I think she's walking him with a bridle and reins, but I could be wrong. I would not be walking without a halter and lead in this situation if I knew the horse was difficult, but also, again, get clearer, the horse has to stay behind you. That is the only rule, one rule that they need to follow when you're walking them. They can do whatever they want as long as they stay behind you and don't pull back. That gives them the opportunity to move side to side, get some energy out without being on top of you and potentially hurting you. People consistently don't teach their horse that, and that's why we end up with these kinds of situations. Now she is walking the horse backwards. I'm not sure what that's accomplishing. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed that horse fails video. Way less traumatizing than some of the fail videos I've reacted to, but definitely a lot of fails. And, you know, a few people that still couldn't remember to sit back and sit up coming up to their fences and wait for the horse to jump and got chucked straight over them. But also a good selection of other things. So, I mean, it was just a good fail video. I do enjoy this kind of fail where I'm not like, oh my god, somebody's about to die every single time. That was really nice. If you guys have any suggestions of videos to react to, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know. I would love to react to them for you. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.